The death of cash didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a sudden announcement or a dramatic global decision. It was a slow, carefully designed process, one that took decades of conditioning, technological advancement, and subtle policy shifts. Governments never needed to ban cash directly. They simply made it inconvenient, unfashionable, and eventually unnecessary. The early stages began with the promotion of debit and credit cards. These were marketed as smarter, cleaner, and more professional alternatives to carrying paper notes. Over time, people began trusting plastic more than paper. Then came online banking, followed by mobile wallets, QR scans, and biometric payments. With every new upgrade, cash looked older and less practical. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. Governments realized how powerful digital money could be. Unlike cash, which is private and untraceable, digital payments leave a permanent trail. Every swipe is a data point. Every purchase becomes recordable, analyzable, and taxable. To push society further away from cash, authorities introduced limits on cash withdrawals, restrictions on large cash transactions, and penalties for businesses dealing heavily in physical money. They used the narrative of fighting corruption, preventing tax evasion, and stopping crime to justify these moves. And people accepted it because they were told it was for their own safety. Soon, cash became an inconvenience. ATMs disappeared. Banks reduced cash counters. Digital platforms offered discounts and cashback, making cash look expensive and outdated. And somewhere along the way, the world woke up to a silent truth. The freedom that came with anonymous cash transactions was gone. By the time people realized what had happened, cash wasn't banned. It was simply replaced, phased out through convenience, fear, and modern technology. The slow death of cash was not an accident. It was a strategy. Digital money entered our lives as a convenience. Fast, clean, and effortless. You could pay bills in seconds, send money instantly, and buy anything with a single tap. It felt like freedom. But behind that convenience, a quiet transformation was unfolding. The creation of the most powerful surveillance tool ever invented. Unlike cash, which disappears the moment it changes hands, digital money never truly leaves the system. Every transaction is logged, time-stamped, categorized, and stored indefinitely. Where you shop, what you eat, how often you travel, what subscriptions you pay for, your entire lifestyle becomes an open book. At first, people didn't mind. Convenience made them blind. The ability to pay without friction felt modern and efficient. But as digital payments grew, so did the infrastructure behind them. Massive databases, AI-driven analytics, and centralized financial authorities capable of tracking patterns in real time. Suddenly, your money wasn't just a tool, it was data. Companies realized they could predict your behavior based on what you buy. Governments realized they could monitor society through spending habits. Banks discovered they could influence your financial decisions with targeted nudges. And all of this happened without anyone voting for it or even noticing. As digital wallets became dominant, a new rule emerged. If your money is digital, your life is trackable. A person's spending profile became a psychological fingerprint. Your fears, your desires, your addictions, and your weaknesses were more visible in your transaction history than in any diary. Digital payments blurred the line between finance and surveillance, transforming the simplest act, buying something, into a form of data extraction. Digital money didn't just replace cash. It rewrote the relationship between citizens, corporations, and governments. And once society accepted that convenience, it unknowingly accepted monitoring as well. Financial privacy used to be simple. You handed someone cash, the transaction ended, and there was no record, no trail, no profile, no digital ghost following you. But the moment the world shifted to digital payments, privacy became an illusion. Every purchase you made started generating a data point, and every data point became a clue, revealing who you are far more accurately than you realize. Digital payments don't just record what you bought. They reveal why you bought it, when you needed it, where you were standing, and what you were thinking in that moment. They draw a map of your life more detailed than any social media profile. A sudden spike in grocery spending shows stress. Late-night fast food orders suggest emotional patterns. Subscription renewals reflect your habits and addictions. And location-based purchases expose your routines, relationships, and secrets without you saying a word. To banks, you are no longer a customer. you're a behavioral puzzle to decode. To corporations, your spending habits are the most profitable form of surveillance data. To governments, your digital trail becomes a mechanism of control, allowing them to monitor dissent, predict unrest, and flag suspicious behavior with algorithms. But the real danger is subtle. Financial privacy didn't just disappear, it was traded away silently, disguised as convenience. People accepted it because they didn't feel the loss. You don't notice privacy disappearing when it happens one tap at a time. As AI and machine learning evolved, the system grew capable of predicting your behavior before you even know what you will do. Financial data became the backbone of a global behavioral surveillance network, one that knows when you're vulnerable, when you're spending more than usual, when you're afraid, even when your lifestyle is shifting. In the digital age, your spending isn't private, it's a confession. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are being promoted as the future of money, a faster, cleaner, more modern financial system. But beneath the shiny surface lies something far more powerful and far more dangerous than most people realize. CBDCs are not just digital versions of cash. They are programmable money. And programmable money means programmable people. With CBDCs, governments gain the ability to track every transaction instantly, in real time, with zero gaps. No anonymity, no cash loopholes, no off-the-record moments. Every financial move becomes a data point in a national database that never forgets. This isn't surveillance, it's total financial visibility. But the real power comes from control. CBDCs allow central authorities to set rules for how money can be spent. They can restrict purchases, limit withdrawals, freeze accounts, or apply expiration dates so your money must be spent or disappears. They can block donations, prohibit travel-related spending, or label certain transactions as high risk with a single software update. This isn't hypothetical. China's digital yuan already includes spending restrictions and behavioral scoring. Europe and the U.S. are openly exploring programmability features. Once implemented, these tools become nearly impossible to reverse. CBDCs also give governments leverage during economic crises. Instead of recommending citizens spend more, they can force money circulation by controlling digital wallet behavior. Instead of encouraging savings, they can penalize hoarding. Instead of raising taxes, they can deduct fees instantly. All of this power hides behind the promise of convenience. No more lost cash, instant payments, smoother transactions. But convenience is the oldest trick in the surveillance playbook. CBDCs are not just a new form of money. They are a new form of governance, one where your financial freedom exists only as long as your behavior is approved. When cash disappears and every transaction is forced through digital channels, financial privacy becomes extinct. What used to be a private exchange between two people, a simple cash purchase, a quiet donation, a discreet favor, turns into a recorded event stored permanently on servers you will never see and controlled by institutions you will never meet. In a fully digital economy, every swipe, every tap, every transfer becomes a data trail. Governments, banks, and corporations gain the ability to build detailed behavioral profiles on every citizen. What you buy, when you buy, where you buy, how often you buy, and what those patterns say about who you are. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. Payment apps sell behavioral data. Banks flag unusual activity. Algorithms categorize spending habits and predict future decisions. What begins as fraud prevention becomes an elegant system of population monitoring. But the danger grows when data and power merge. If every purchase is recorded, it becomes easy to label certain behaviors as suspicious and others as preferred. People who buy the wrong books, support the wrong causes, or travel to the wrong places may find themselves quietly pushed onto watch lists, denied services, or subjected to extra verification checks. Slowly, public life transforms. People self-censor not because someone tells them to, but because they fear being flagged by an invisible system that judges everything they do. The fall of cash isn't just a technological upgrade. It's the rise of a world where privacy becomes a memory and silence becomes a survival strategy.